Hello, everyone. Game week 2 is here. Finally, we've seen some football in the bag. That included me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch a disastrous Everton and Leeds game. It was absolutely miserable. I'm the SC Whisperer, joined by my co-host SC Deadly. We're bringing you the complete guide for game week 2. We've got one more week of Friday deadlines, and then as of next week, it's going to be at 9:30 on a Saturday. So a later deadline. These podcasts will come out. We've now confirmed it'll come out every Friday to give you guys a little bit more time. But there is heaps to talk about. Let's start with our scores from last week, Deadly. I ended up on a 123, not too bad. A couple of highs, a couple of really stinking lows. I didn't have a good captain at all. We'll talk about that later. But how did you end up, mate?
Yeah, me and you had damn near the exact same team. I think we had two players on field different. Leeds United obviously absolutely smacking the pants off Everton, getting Joe Rodon getting his clean sheet and 11 points put you over the edge. And yeah, I mean, look, all things considered, you look at the score for me, a 108. Doesn't look pretty, especially on 9K out of 48K, but I'm happy with my team. I there's room for improvement for all of them for sure. And they've all got the upside.
Yeah, like there's it's like so close right now. Like there's absolutely no need to really be looking at rank. I think the top score this week was like a 170, but it's so volatile. Like you said, like a Joe Rodon 11 for me. They concede in the 95th minute and it becomes a 4. Like it's so ducks and drakes. So it can go either way. Some hits, some fails, some captaincy issues. I captained Cole Palmer, which was not great. I started Malik Diouf, which I still stand by was a good start against Sunderland. They had 0.7 XG and scored 3 goals somehow. Crazy. A couple of other stinkers. I mean, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, 6 points. I think there's a question on that later in the episode on playing midfielders being matchup proof. Like, KDH did nothing and got 6. So I'll happily take that. But yeah, mate, overall not a bad week. Saka didn't really do much. Palmer didn't do much, but same thing, like 7 points for both those guys in games where they didn't do anything, which is great. We'll take that. What about you? Who stood out and who flopped? For me and you, obviously, and the man in the title, Tijani Reijnders.
Yeah, the big one was obviously Tijani Reijnders. I mean, well, the big one was actually Ballard, but we'll talk about him a bit later, obviously. But Tijani Reijnders, he looked, to me, the best player of the week. Ballard put in probably one of the best centre-back performances I've ever seen, but Tijani Reijnders was awesome for Man City. If they had a pass to assist stat, he would have got that too with the first Haaland goal. Scored a great goal himself, set up a Haaland goal himself. He looked awesome. And look, Pep Roulette is the big reason he's not in my team. I thought he was awesome at AC Milan. I thought he's a fantastic soccer player, but he's got a kick ball at Pep's orders. So.
I think nothing portrayed that more than Omar Mamouche. 14 out of 16 games last year. Obviously opted for a different tactic this week, and off the bench, so not great. We'd expect him to start moving forward. And we're gonna plug the WhatsApp one more time. I made a tweet and it got a lot of nasties in there, like some spam accounts, some of those fake match fix people. So I pulled the tweet down. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, message Deadly or I. We can give you the link. It's a really good spot. There's a contributors chat, which is just Deadly and I. We're posting a lot of news, key stats, anything that we sort of hear around the traps. There's a subscribers chat where you guys just talk amongst yourselves and tag us. We're in there often. And there's a game day thread. So yeah, talk some ball at all hours of the night, mate. But let's have a look at the week that was.
We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look.
We're going to be talking about the key scorers, stats, highlights, injuries, rotation risks. So people that stood out for the eye test and some people to add to our watch list. We've got 10 games to get through. So let's kick off, mate. Liverpool 4-2 Bournemouth. Feels like a lifetime ago. Liverpool topped this one, 2.21 XG to 1.7. So Liverpool overperformed quite a bit. Bournemouth probably a little bit hard done by in terms of XG to not come away with a point there. Semenyo, top scorer of this game, 23 points, 2 goals for him. Hugo Ekitike, Premier League debut, 20 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. And Cody Yakpo, 17 points, 1 goal. Mate, I thought Liverpool were just the much better side in the first half. Obviously, Bournemouth came back and hit Liverpool really hard on the counter. I think Liverpool are going to look really shaky on that counter a lot this season, especially with Frimpong and Kirkez pushing so high. It's basically leaving exposed back two. In saying that, there was no Ryan Gravenberch, so there's no one to really sit and pivot. in front of the back two there. So, yeah, definitely one to note. But, mate, the big one, Frimpong and Kirkhead's both off before the 60th minute, 7-point swing on each of those, and potentially a Frimpong hamstring issue. Anish Slot said Frimpong felt his hamstring go at halftime, and that's why he was subbed early. Disaster seeds for probably one of the most popular defenders in the game.
Yeah, horrible for people that started with him. I know he's like the third highest owned player in the game, so unlucky if you started with him. Only came away with a 3 in this one, and obviously wouldn't have got many points anyway. But look, realistically, we're just got to wait for press conferences, see what Schlott says, and go from there. Because right now we have no update for Jeremy Frimpong, and I think Connor Bradley might not be too far away. But if Frimpong is bad, then Bradley might be a guy we could be looking at 3.9 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely wait for press conferences to see what we get from there. One thing to note from this as well, I know a lot of Frimpong owners were filthy because he was subbed before the 60th minute, so didn't get the appearance point. But then also got hit really hard with goals conceded. Now, was subbed off when it was 2-0 to Liverpool in the 59th minute. Did some clarification, got some wording. A lot of people were upset as to why he lost those points. And it seems like defending is just a team stat. So you've obviously got to play the 60 minutes and Supercoach round up. So he didn't get the 2 appearance points, which was crazy, but they're rounding up to 61st minute and over. And then even if you're on the bench, if your team's conceding a goal, then you're hit hard with it. So it's a team stat, goals conceded. So just keep that in mind when you are picking moving forward. Probably puts more credence into the cheaper defenders. If they're going to concede, that they're going to concede. There's no point coming off. So playing 60 minutes or playing 90 minutes makes no difference. Mate, on the eye test, this game was great. Obviously, Semenyo, unreal, absolutely unreal on the counter. He's got the tough game out of the way now. I think he's 9 million forward only, but looks really, really good. Virgil van Dijk had 9 points and 20 CBITs, so clearance, blocks, interceptions, tackles. And as we said, Liverpool very shaky on the counter. I know he only came away with 1 point, but your boy, Truffert, I thought he looked unbelievable. He looks very much like Milos Kerkez, Adrian Truffert. 3.7 million. He's in like the top 10 traded out, which I think is crazy. He looks really, really good, and I'm happy to own him and playing him in basically any kind of neutral matchup.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a big thing I'm going to preach that this episode. I'm taking rollover points, rollover score, no matter what. Truffert, he's got the role. He's playing basically the highest wingback that you could have. He's probably the most advanced wingback out of all of them in the whole Prem right now, taking straight away from Milos Kerkez. Obviously, Kerkez is a fantastic player. He's got his big money to move to Liverpool. But there's no reason that Truffert can't, do similar and get up to 7 million or so quite easily. You weren't starting with him for this matchup. And if you're trading him out after this matchup, that's ludicrous to me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very, very happy to have him, and very, very keen to have him. Not going to say I can go out and buy him, obviously, but keen to have him. Some takeaways from this point. Salah 14 points, which obviously on paper is great, but playing super, super wide, scored a goal and still didn't hit what he's priced at. 0.37 XGA. So yeah, not a great game for Mo Salah. Obviously, he never blanks on the opening week of the season, but still got his goal at very late there. But basically on 6 points until that goal at the end. What are we thinking with Salah? I mean, I wasn't convinced in the preseason. I'm still not overly convinced now.
I think, personally, I reckon owners of Salah have come away very lucky with this one. Obviously, absolute junk time goal. But against Bournemouth, you'd expect a lot more. And now he comes into Newcastle, who just played a very good defensive game against Aston Villa, who were shaky in their own right, and Arsenal, who were pretty good. Raya was awesome against Man United. 2 tough matchups. Salah, you can tell straight away, even in the preseason, in that first game, if you watched it, straight away, he's not on the ball as much. He's not essentially, they are running through the whole team and not just through him this time around. And that's going to cause concern for me for sure, especially if I was an owner. 15.5 million for the guy basically just to be stuck out in the wing and basically do exactly what Bukayo Saka did for cheaper.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, saving grace being on pens, but how much credence are we putting into that? For the watch list this game, Hugo Ekitike, Bradley as well, as you mentioned, with the injury to Frimpong potentially, and Antoine Semenyo. I think he's a really, really good pickup. But Hugo Ekitike, obviously the big winner. yeah, Alexander Isak's basically made his bed. He's gonna have to sleep in it now. I don't see Newcastle getting rid of him after the actions that have transpired this week. So he looks to be locked in. 6.5 million, absolutely unreal price. He looks great. Mate, this game was a absolute stinker. Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0, XG 0.2 for Aston Villa, 1.43 for Newcastle. I reckon 1.4 of that came down to Anthony Alenga just bottling every chance that he had. Matty Cash top scored this game, so that tells you everything. 16 points, 5 block shots, and a clean sheet. Bizzo and Pope, 13 points apiece, 8 clean sheets, 8 clean sheet points for each of those guys. And shout out to Ezri Konsa, first red card of the season, 3 points. So he's out for a couple of weeks. And as you've put here kindly in the notes, Konsa will miss game week 2 with that red card. Emi Martinez comes back from suspension, Bizzo to lose his spot. I think he played okay, but yeah, I think he definitely does lose his spot there for that Villa side. Yeah, I mean, he was great. Mate, that Villa attack looked toothless. I'm going to put it down to Eddie Howe masterclass just in defense from Newcastle. So I thought they set up really well. Fabian Schär, Dan Burn, 2 not easy centre-backs to get the better of for Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was well coached by Eddie Howe, that's for sure. Just you can definitely tell straight away that the need of a striker was as desperate. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
If only they had one.
I don't know. Unsure. Shout out Ezri Konsa with probably the most dumbest challenge I've seen. Obviously, Anthony Gordon was through on goal, but I think you'd rather take Anthony Gordon through on goal.
Have you seen Anthony Gordon in front of goal?
I've witnessed Anthony. I can't believe we scraped 40 million away from Anthony Gordon at Everton. So, yeah, Emi Martinez will come straight back in, you'd reckon. Bizzo was awesome. He was my man of the match in this one for sure. Fantastic keeping. But, yeah, you'd expect Emi Martinez to come straight back in. A big thing that I found out, block shots in this aspect of the game is that you can rack up your score very quickly because people just like to ping it from outside the box. And if you're anywhere near it, you're getting a block shot for it pretty much.
Yeah,
Matty Cash had 5. Ballard had 5. There was a few Everton guys that had 5 as well. So, yeah, block shots is it's not a consistent stat, but it's a stat that if you get a few of them, you're on for a decent game.
Yeah, no, agreed. On paper, they lined up in a 4-2-3-1 with Watkins up top and Rodgers off the left with Tielemans playing 10, which could be kind of spicy. It was more of a sort of a front 2. It was more sort of a 4-4-2. But Tielemans probably the more advanced of the 2 midfielders. So if he's on pens, at 9 million, he could definitely be an option, but I still suspect it is Watkins. If you have Ollie Watkins, are you panicking? I'm not. I mean, 6 points from him, didn't do anything, had a couple of successful dribbles, but he had like 1, 2 or 3 touches in the first half. Like he did nothing and he still put up 6 points, which is sort of what we're saying in these bad games. They're still putting up points.
I think the big thing for this game was Aston Villa's just possession football was pretty atrocious, to be honest. That midfield 3 or 4 was pretty bad. Couldn't get the ball to Watkins or Rodgers, and when they did up top, they weren't able to do too much with it. Basically, just trying to take on a couple guys by themselves. And they're definitely guys that are look. If Aston Villa can work out the possession-based football, there's still guys that I'm interested in owning at some point when Aston Villa's fixtures open up a little bit, or if these sorts of guys can get some more points and shots on target, then I'm interested in Rodgers and Watkins for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle have probably two of the most physical centre-backs in Burn and Shah, and they probably got 2 of the most physical defensive midfielders in Guimaraes and Joelinton. So it's definitely not an easy task for a striker that loves to get in behind like Ollie Watkins does. So yeah, I'm not concerned at all. Brighton 1, Fulham 1, XG of 1.48, 2.7. So in Brighton's favour, probably. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of even there. Happy to split the points there. Matt O'Reilly, the big talking point, mate. Not only is he 6 million, but he's also on pens over Jorginho Ruta, which is great. Munez, 8 points with a goal as well. Rotation risks, my boy Al Jimenez unfortunately came off at the 66th minute mark for Munoz. But yeah, I mean, the big talking point before we get into the eye test away from the stats is Matt O'Reilly. Linked away from Brighton, has always had injury issues, but I'll tell you what, if he's on pens playing in the positions that he was playing in over the weekend, he could be a genuinely really, really good pickup. If Palmer continues to underperform and you already have Reijnders, I would be very much looking at like a Palmer down to an O'Reilly and having a bit of cash in the bank. So definitely one to watch in the transfer market. Definitely one to watch on the physio table as well for Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. He was a guy that I sort of he took a couple pens last year. When they got that pen, I originally thought I was hoping and praying it was going to be Maxim de Kuyper, but no, Riley stepped up. But Danny Welbeck still wasn't on the pitch when that happened. So there's still potential that Danny Welbeck's the main penalty taker when he's on. That's sort of where I land on that. He took majority of the pens over O'Reilly last year when they were both on. So still think it will be Welbeck. But yeah, O'Reilly over the weekend in that game was awesome. Probably player of the match again. A couple guys that were pretty good for the eye test. We'll go through now. Maxim de Kuyper, I'm so happy to own him. He obviously I'm not thrilled that Brighton lost that clean sheet with basically the last touch of the game from that Munoz goal from the corner, which de Kuyper would have been on at about 12 points. But I'll take a 5 from him in a game where he blanked pretty much, but he looked really, really good and playing really advanced.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Both these teams, though, like there's a heap of rotation risk with Brighton and Fulham are just sort of what they are. So I'm probably staying away from both these teams for the time being. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. I was in pain. XG of 0.68 to 5 point. So imagine that. XG of 0.68 to 0.56 in Sunderland's favour, and they came out with 3 goals. Insane. It couldn't have happened to any other team apart from West Ham. How do we concede 3 off an XG of 0.68? Insane. But the talk of the town, Daniel Ballard, 30 points, 1 goal, clean sheet. Robin Roves, 15 points, clean sheet with 4 saves. And it's Trey Hume, 15 points, Hume, 1 clean sheet, 7 defensive contributions. Look, we will talk more in detail about the trading targets this week, but the fact that Daniel Ballard is being traded in by over 20% of the game, I think is insane.
Wild.
Genuinely insane. He had, in saying that, he had 2 goals, 1 assist in the championship last year off like 30 appearances. So it's not out of the question, but I think people are just looking at the break even and just running on board with him. But yeah, like we'll talk about his trade prospects more, but Sunderland, mate, I think we said it. We said it in one of the final preseason episodes. Going away to the Stadium of Light on game week 1, I think was going to be a challenge. I didn't expect it to be this bad. But yeah, they looked good. They looked very good.
Yeah, I mean, Ballard was awesome. It's that whole Sunderland team just looked on point. For a whole bunch of new signings, pretty much, they basically spent a good chunk of coin just to bring all these guys in, 130 million plus, just to basically rebuild a whole new team. It worked well for him. And Ballard, the guy who's stuck around for them for time, he was on 15 points just normally with the clean sheet before he scored the goal. So, end up on 30 is really good. Will it continue? I doubt it. And do I easily reckon Burnley get him this week, to be honest with you.
I don't want to be a numbers nerd, but like you've scored 3 goals off 0.68 XG. Like you took 3 worldies, 3 absolute worldies, right?
Two headers from outside the box that Hermanson just wasn't. I don't know what he was doing, just didn't get to him, and then basically a curled shot from it looked like a FIFA curled shot from outside the box as well. I tell you what, Mads Hermanson, that was not a good game, and shout out John Victor.
Big ups, John Victor. I left at the airport. Look, do we need to start looking at Sunderland players as quick cash grabs in game week 3, or do we just avoid West Ham as a whole? I think it's probably neither. Jared Bowen, no matter how bad West Ham are, he puts up points. And funnily enough, El Hadji Malik Diouf came in with 1 point, but was the 8th best defender this week for XGI. Had a 0.31 XGI.
He was so unlucky to not score 2 goals, to be honest.
Had 1 clearance off the line and was just involved in everything as well. So on another day, and this is the thing with football, like we're going to be saying this quite often this season, like on another day, he comes away with a 15-pointer. So I'm not concerned at all. Like the 1 pointer sucks. He got hit hard with clean sheet goals conceded, but he's in the top 10 traded out, which I think is insane. He had a 0.31 XGI, which to put it in perspective, Pedro Porro had a 0.35, and people like laud him as this like attacking maestro. So I'm very happy to own Malik Diouf. Robin Roves, I think we touched on him in the preseason. He's the best cheapy defender because he's the only best cheapy goalkeeper because he's the only cheapy goalkeeper. I'm not
Will they
really.
keep a clean sheet most weeks? Probably not.
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, obviously, I feel like if Ballard has another great week, they keep a clean sheet against Burnley, we're probably just going to have to jump on him just for the cash.
For the cash, of course. And he's bottom dollar, so anyone can go to him, but I'm not for this week.
But at the same... Oh, no, definitely not this week. But at the same time, Trey Hume was the one that definitely caught my eye in this one. He looked really, really good. And, look, 7 DEFCON, while basically being an attacking right mid near on, I'm keeping my eye on Trey Hume for sure.
Yeah, no, agreed. Me too. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0. Tottenham 2.32 XG to Burnley's 0.94. So Tottenham obviously deserved winners here. Richarlison 24 points with 2 goals. Mohamed Kudus 21 points with 2 assists. And Papa Matasar 15 points, 1 assist. Solanke came on, which is good to see. He came on for Richarlison as we expect. Saar looks very, very safe in that midfield role, especially now. We will touch on that very, very soon. But yeah, look, it is what it is. Tottenham come up against a pretty tough matchup this week against Man City. I expect them to line up in a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, however you really want to look at it. Basically the exact same lineup that they had for PSG. I would imagine it's Richarlison / Solanke up top with Kudus and then Saar playing in behind. As for Burnley, obviously taking on Sunderland this week in a very much a 6-pointer, so it will be good to watch that one. Mate, so Solanke, obviously, he's had no preseason, and Richarlison's pressed very well in the preseason, something that Thomas Frank really likes. He's performed well in the preseason, and has come out with 2 goals in game week 1. I'm not expecting Solanke just to walk back into this team. And I'm sure you're of the same opinion.
No, Richarlison's definitely earned his spot, and there's definitely going to be a bit of a battle between them, especially in the next couple game weeks for who's the main number 9 for a good chunk of the season. Richarlison was awesome.
Richarlison's had 18 goals in his last 17 starts. He's always been very, very decent. And he played for you. I'm sure you enjoyed when he was at your club. He's good. He's a good footballer. He just can't stay on the pitch. So when he does string together games, as I said, 18 goals in his last 17 starts. So yeah, very, very handy.
Yeah, he was good for us when we could get the ball to him, but Everton just struggled to move the football. So you know how that goes. Look, obviously the worldy goal that he scored, but just he looks so composed. The press is awesome. But I think the big one for Tottenham and my player of the match for this one was Mohamed Kudus. He is awesome. And on that right, alongside Pedro Porro, it's going to be a problem. And Kudus 100% lands on my watch list after this one. He looks safe as houses as well. Did come off towards the end of the game. We expect that they're up 3-0. Not worried about that. But yeah, the only midfielder to not get moved, Pape Sarr. For people, we've had plenty of questions already about do we go Sarr out, or if Eze comes, who obviously that hasn't eventuated, but if Eze comes, are we getting rid of Sarr? Sarr's safe. If he doesn't play 10, he's going to play 8. He's safe as. Frank loves him.
No, agreed. And that was the thing, the whole concern. And the reason I didn't start with him, because obviously Eze it was a 1-horse race for Eberechi Eze, and somehow Tottenham couldn't even win that. So he's off to Arsenal, which is now the here we go. What about my boy, mate, Hartman? About 60 people in the game owned him. He looks great. Took all the corners on all free kicks, nearly bottom dollar. I'm happy with him.
Oh, mate, if I was to own a Burnley defender, it's him. Shout out Maximus Deve. He was pretty decent. Everyone else in that backline sucked. But Hartman took every corner, took every basically in-swinging free kick. The direct free kick went to Hannibal, I think, but the actual in-swinging ones were all Hartman. So there is 100% potential there for assist points, even just any sort of contributions, accurate crosses, key passes, this sort of stuff, just from that. And he was basically playing left mid. So Hartman, 100% happy to own him still, even though he came away with a 2. Who cares? The role's there. I'm happy. Roll over score is. I'm going to keep preaching it the whole season. As long as they have the role still and still a starting guy in a good spot, I'm going to keep preaching it. They're guys I want.
Yeah, and I was never starting him away to Tottenham, but I'll definitely start him against Sunderland as well. So happy to have that. Kyle Walker sucks.
He's washed. He is washed. If you own Kyle Walker, is there a prospect you trade him this week? Because I don't know how much I want to be paying for a Burnley centre back that just sucks. He's taken throw-ins. If that helps anyone, he took all the throw-ins.
Shout out to what's Senior Delap?
Rory.
Rory, that's him. You shout out to Rory to lap. Get him in the mixer. Vicario looks very good. Obviously, 5.2 million. If we back this Spurs defense, then fantastic.
Yeah.
He's going to look really good as well. The ones to watch from this game are Charleston, Kudus, and your boy Cullen. Talk to me about why we're watching him.
Josh Cullen, I believe his name is. Mate, there wasn't a lot going on for Burnley in this one, but if there was, it was him. And I think he's about 5 million. So obviously not a guy that we're going to jump straight on, but keep your eye out on Josh Cullen is all I'll say. And if Burnley and Jaden Anthony on the left too, basically that whole Burnley left side is the only thing that worked. Jaden Anthony, Cullen, and Hartman. Anything else, they looked very ordinary. But yeah, just keep an eye on that Burnley left side. They're the people I want to just keep my eye on for them.
Yeah, I was impressed with Jaden Anthony. Man City 4-0 Wolverhampton Wolves. I was going to say Wanderers then for a second. Wolves. 2.47 XG to 0.56 for Wolves. I can tell you that Haaland had like 1.99 XG. So he made up for basically every chance that City had, which we expect. They just feed him the ball in a funnel and he does what he does.
Tap in that was like 1 yard out, impossible to miss.
You don't miss those. 22 points for him, 2 goals. 21 points for Tajini Reijnders, 1 goal, 1 assist. 20 points for Rico Lewis with 1 assist. Really good to see him start as well. Injury and rotation risk. Welcome to Pep Roulette. Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis, all off at the 66th minute mark with Savinio, Rodri, Foden, Gvardiol, all expected to be inclusions next week. We would imagine Rodri touch and go, but definitely Gvardiol. He was a late out before the game. So risks for everyone that isn't named Tajini Reijnders or Erling Haaland, in my opinion. But yeah, like a guy that I was really impressed with was obviously Tajini Reijnders. We'll talk about him in a second. But Reynat Nori, apparently, like all the talk out of Man City preseason was Pep absolutely froths him. He's been doing very, very well. And yeah, he was really good defensively. Like he didn't do a whole lot, and he ended up on 15.
Awesome. He was the whole Wolves attack just basically ran through Marshall Monetzi on the right side. So they were basically just testing Aït-Nouri all day. Wolves actually weren't terrible. If Monetzi wasn't offside for like 3 different occasions, they probably do score. Strand Larsen looked really good when he got the ball, but they tested Aït-Nouri a whole lot, and he definitely provided well. I think he had about 8 DEFCON points, something like that. So, and we know his attacking upside. So, look, AFCON's the big thing with him, but I think if you're going to want a primo City player, obviously Haaland and Reijnders are going to be primos and they're going to be good, but Aït-Nouri is definitely one that I'm looking at still because he looked awesome.
Yeah, I'm very keen to have a look at Gvardiol at centre back and see what his sort of production's like. So we'll monitor that as well. But yeah, let's talk on Tajini Reijnders because he was a guy that I was super keen on the preseason. Obviously vindicated by the final preseason friendly. And then obviously when he comes out and puts out 1 goal, 1 assist, it's probably like one of the best debuts I can remember from the Prem from like a midfielder. He was everywhere. We know that he's got an engine. He had 15 goals, 6 assists or something like that in the Serie A last season for Milan. Continues on. The concern was he was going to play deeper. I think he can play 10, 8, and 6 all in the same game, all in the same build-up phase, to be honest. Like he pops up everywhere, mate. And the question becomes, does he become a must-have? I want to temper people's expectations because they look at 1 goal, 1 assist, and their eyes light up. He had 0.56 XGI. He overperformed significantly, and game week 1 is not the norm. He's not going to average 76 goal involvements for the season. If he would, he's the greatest player of all time. I think he's good. I don't think he's like this unbelievable prospect that everyone's making him out to be.
It's a big thing and I'm sure you have spoken about it heaps of times on the NRL podcast. We've spoken about it heaps of times on the AFL podcast. It's chasing points. He's not going to put up 21 every week. He's good. He's fantastic. He's going to put up points most weeks. 21, unlikely. And look, he was awesome, but teams are going to start playing for that. And look, I think he's still going to be a guy that I'm going to bring in potentially next week, depending on what happens with Pep Roulette and the fun stuff. But at the same time, 21 is probably the max you're going to get out of him. That's probably one of the best centre mid games I've seen, and I can't see him having many more goal involvements than that. So 21 might probably be his max score this season.
Yeah. I think you got him at the best. If you started with him, fair play. If you didn't, then I would definitely give him a watch this week.
Yeah, he's a huge watch for me this week. He's 100% a guy I'll be happy to either downgrade or upgrade to next week if I can see that he looks safe and all that fun stuff. But right now, I'm happy to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and a big talking point out of this game as well. About 5 or 6 hours before the deadline, we got news that Edison was left out of the squad entirely. So a lot of these, I would say, casual fans are rewarded with the James Trafford double point haul. They are linked to Gianluigi Donnarumma out of PSG, which I think is a really interesting one. It makes me question the Trafford signing a little bit, but if that doesn't materialize and Trafford continues to be the number one, then it's been an absolutely unreal start, and I will definitely be monitoring it. I'm happy to pay a bit more money as well. Like if I have to wait until game week 4 or 5 and I have to pay $5 million for him, I'll happily pay $5 million for a Man City goalkeeper. It's just a case of, yeah, I'm not really prepared to bomb a trade on Trafford right now until I know what the role's going to be. But Pep also did come out and say that Edison's a number one. There's been he's made no inkling that he wants to leave. Pep's a guy notorious that if you want to go, he'll let you go. But Pep has said that Edison hasn't come out and said that he wants to leave or anything like that, and he's still in their plans. So I'm definitely just going to watch that one.
Yep. So I'm the same. There's a funny story with all this. So obviously the very first episode we did, the goalkeepers episode, we spoke about James Trafford, how if he goes to City, he's a fantastic option. If he's a starting keeper, if Edison buggers off.
That was when Edison was linked to go to bloody South.
Yeah. So there is still potential Edison could go. But at the same time, Donnarumma looks nearly set on going to City. And I don't think it was a case of we'll sign Trafford to be the backup. I think they genuinely wanted Trafford to be the number one. And then Donnarumma basically got done in by PSG and they were like, hey, Donnarumma's available. Let's go for him. Why not?
Donnarumma's top 3 keeper in the world. If he becomes available, of course.
Yeah, may as well. And then also there's some funny stories coming out while we're recording this that James Trafford could potentially be looking for a move next summer if Donnarumma signs. So there you go. Plenty of all that to work out within the next.
Too much happening for me to take him, but like I said, I'm happy
to spend up if I have to, but
yeah,
I will wait till the transfer window slams shut before I even go near a City keeper.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm pretty much slamming shut on any City asset that isn't Haaland, Reijnders, or Reynat Nori as well for the time being until we get more information. But we never seem to get it from Pep Guardiola. Chelsea 0-0 Palace. This game was a snooze fest. 1.6 XG to Chelsea, 0.66 to Crystal Palace. Lacroix with a 17-pointer clean sheet, 9 DEFCON. Cucurella, 14 points clean sheet. Robert Sanchez, 14-point clean sheet, 4 saves. Very lucky that a free kick from Eberiche Eze was overturned. Love to see that.
I don't care. Love it. I love it. I'm so happy.
Yeah, love that. Love owning both those doubling up there. 28 points was great. Jamie Gittins off at the 54th minute mark for Estavo. Yao Pedro off at the 73-minute mark for Delap and Tosin in the final hours before deadline. My FPL, so after the deadline, it was actually after the deadline. Maresca said he picked up a precautionary hamstring issue or precautionary soft tissue issue in training and was ruled out for that week, but expected to be back next week or the week after. My FPL teammate is in the. This is an FPL podcast, but I scored 34 points. I was in an absolute shambles.
We talking about my FPL team. I scored 85 or something. I had an awesome week.
Cooked. Yeah, I got 32. I was cooked. Yeah, Chelsea. This was a game. This was a game of football. I'll
tell you what, we can spend this whole Chelsea segment talking about how awesome Mark Cucurella looks as the shadow striker. Because my goodness, I've never seen a man just leave his back line so quickly. He makes one pass and he's gone. Him and João Pedro are playing in it too.
Especially when they're dominating possession so much. The big one, like obviously Eberiche Eze was unbelievable in this game for Palace. People are asking me, does he become an option now at Arsenal? Not a chance. I much prefer him as an asset for Tottenham.
Hate him at Arsenal. Hate him. There's too much rotation risk. He's going to play on the left, poor Gabriel Martinelli, but if you're spending 10 million on an Arsenal asset, I think I'd rather take Saka, who's more proven in that side.
Yep.
But Just back on the injury rotation risk, I think Jamie Gittins cannot start in this Chelsea side. He looked poor in both the preseason games. Looked poor in this game, and I think the best way for Chelsea to run and the best way they looked was when Estavio came on and played on the right and the attacks to the fullbacks. And I think that's got to be the way they run it with Pedro Neto on the left. So just keep an eye out on Estavio. He's going to be a guy that at 4.5 million could potentially be a cheeky option.
Yeah. Some thoughts on this game. Obviously, Cole Palmer with a 7-pointer was very disappointing considering Haaland the game before popped off with a 22-pointer. Reijnders as well did well. Salah obviously got a 14-pointer, 16-pointer, in the opening week. So the most popular captain of the week, definitely didn't. One of the most popular captains didn't deliver, which was frustrating. But 7 points for a game where he was very much uninvolved was, I guess, the promising we can take away from it. But people on the watch list, Mark Cucurella, João Pedro / Liam Delap, and Josh Anchapong came in for Tosin. So definitely one to watch there as well.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest 3, Brentford 1, Forest 1.86, XG to Brentford's 1.5. Brentford probably feel very hard done by here to not come away with a point. Obviously got the penalty, which is definitely going to bolster their XG. But if you're looking at pure numbers, they're probably unlikely to come away with a point, but they were just outclassed, genuinely. Yeah. Chris Wood is inevitable. 21 points, 2 goals for the big Kiwi. Morgan Gibbs-White, 14 with 1 assist. And our boy Igor Thiago, 12-pointer with a penalty, which was absolutely unreal. On pens is great. We were hoping that he was, and he is, which is unreal. I pivoted last minute. And who did I dump? I dumped Maxime. I dumped Patrick Dorgu and got Mark Cucurella. And then I went Watkins down to Thiago. So that worked out well. Didn't start him. But happy to see he's on pens, which is great. Kevin Charter came on at half time as he works his way back to full fitness. Douglas Luiz signing might see Ibrahim Sangare drop out for Forest. But nothing really to note from this game. Forest lined up as you expected, as did sort of Brentford. Keenless Potter started, which was good to see. But Kevin Charter back, which is definitely something to monitor. For the eye test, as we said, Igor Thiago on pens. Chris Wood is great. Elliot Anderson was also outstanding. Forest is just going to be really good defensively, as we've sort of we know. Death taxes and Forest being good. Obviously unlucky to give away a pen late.
Yeah, handball pen too. So it was quite unlucky. Sangare couldn't do much about it, but we don't care as Thiago owners. Elliot Anderson, 100% is one that I'm keeping my eye on. He passed the eye test with flying colours for me. It was awesome. Got an assist as well to Chris Wood. Just looks awesome defensively. Obviously, he's like 8 million, bit overs, but at the same time, I think he's going to be worth that money. He's going to score well.
Yep. Definitely. Wood, Thiago, Anderson, all on the watch list. Game of the week, I would say. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. XG has this one at 1.31 to 1.52. Ricardo Calafiori, 21 points with a goal and a clean sheet. Saliba with a clean sheet and 8 DEFCON, and Raya, 15 points, clean sheet, 7 saves. Before we get into our thoughts, the rotation risk, Diego Dallo off at the 55th minute for Amad Diallo, Victor Gyökeres and Martinelli off at the 60th minute for Kai Havertz and Noni Madueke, and Benjamin Sesko coming on in the 65th minute mark. No, I thought Arsenal were shocking. I genuinely thought they were rubbish. Manchester United were a much better side here. If you're a United fan, huge things to take from this game. I thought they looked very good. Arsenal had the most shots conceded against them this game, this week as well.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely guys on both teams that you can definitely tell should be in the side for a majority of the season, and guys who definitely shouldn't. Look, I think Man United were hard done by. I think Cunha and Mbeumo both could have had 2 goals each. Dorgu hit the post on a Bruno pass, which, oh my God, that's a 20-point swing that I almost cried. And Bruno almost scored himself. They genuinely had plenty of opportunities. They could have made this 8-0, 8-1, whatever you want to call it. But there was so many opportunities. How about Matthias de Ligt having the most shots on target or whatever it was, shots in the box out of any player this week? Shout out him.
0.31 XGI, 7th most for the week as well. So
three shots in the box for Matthias de Ligt
on my bingo card. But United were great. I mean, Arsenal looked shocking. When we say shocking, we sort of mean in attack. They look very toothless in attack. But great defensively, as we come to expect. They conceded the most shots out of any team this week, and that includes West Ham and Wolves, who got 7 goals put past them. But yeah, Arsenal very, very good defensively. Some very, very key notes here, mate. Kai Havertz out. Looks to be months. David Ornstein reporting Kai Havertz out for months. So wheels up for Victor Gyökeres. Obviously, also confirmed that he's on pens as well. And that was decided before the season started, apparently. So it would have been nice if Mikel Arteta told us that. But as for Bruno, like, he sat very deep, which is not great for like what people would expect to be his output. Shameless plug, go follow me on Twitter. I put up the best performing XGI numbers for each position. Bruno was actually the 6th best midfielder this week out of the whole competition, 0.45 XGI. So he's sitting deep, so he's racking up those sort of defensive contribution points, but he's also still getting forward in attack. He had 8 points with no clean sheet, no attacking returns, no nothing. So Bruno gets an assist and they keep a clean sheet. That's a 17, 18 pointer every day of the week.
I think the big thing here, and especially with him sitting deep, he's going to pick up more DEFCON points. Awesome. But the fact that, and I know a lot of United fans weren't fans of it, of how it played out, especially with him, but he's trying to make the hero pass, which shit for, United and United fans. They don't want him making the hero pass long ball every single time. But I tell you what, for SuperCoach, I'll let him do it every week if he's getting 3 key passes every single time and basically putting Patrick Dorgu through. So I'm happy to own Bruno, no matter where he is. He was outstanding still wherever he was. He's fine.
Yeah.
Not worried.
I'm actually really keen on Benjamin Sesko over the next coming weeks. If that's what they're going to look like in attack with no European football, really, really keen to have a piece of Benjamin Sesko. So 6.5 million or 7 million.
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5. So same price as Hugo Ekitike. Yeah, really keen on United this season, especially from what I saw this year. Hopefully they build around Ruben Amorim. And Victor Gyökeres, obviously, on pens as well, 7 million. I would imagine his minutes go up, obviously, as he is increasing fitness week on week, but also now the news that Kai Havertz is out, and I really can't think of a natural striker that would come in and take minutes off him. So, yeah, good. And last game of the week, mate, this was dreadful to watch. Can't believe it was nearly 3 XG goal game. Leeds 1, Everton 0. Leeds 2.13 XG, but that was very inflated by a 0.8 XG pen. And Everton 0.8 XGI. Gabby Goodmanson, 15 points, clean sheet for him, which was great. Anton Starch, 14.6 attacking points in that as well. Joe Rodon, my boy, my bottom dollar guy, clean sheet, 3 DEFCON as well for him. The big one out of this game, mate, no Jack Grealish in the starting lineup, but I think you guys looked a whole lot better when he came on. Just looked, like Villa. Grealish, so when he starts, I'll be all over him like a cheap suit.
Yeah, 100%. Grealish back on the left, going to be naturally our left winger, left cam, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be the guy out on the left for sure. Most game weeks, you can lock him in. Look, I could make this whole Everton podcast and rip on my team for the next hour and a half, but I will spare you the details of what I think about my team. I think Leeds were, especially when they got decently comfortable, they weren't afraid to use all their subs. Joel Pirro came off, I feel, pretty early. He was giving us some troubles. Obviously, and Mecca scored the penalty, so you'd expect Pirro to be on pens. Cheeky option for that one. Leeds just absolutely killed us, especially on that left side, and it's definitely obvious that Everton need a couple fullbacks.
Leighton Baines getting back.
Where is Leighton Baines and where is Prime Shane Coleman?
Very curious to see where Dominic Calvert-Lewin fits into this lead setup. So very curious to see what they do.
I got no clue, to be honest.
Nor do I. Feels like a signing.
Pirro looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. Kenan Drewsbury-Hall started at the 10 and moved into the 8 role alongside Garner Gay, which is probably better for Everton, which sucks for SuperCoach. So, once Grealish starts...
He did more on the ball and points-wise when he was at 8. So
he didn't touch the ball in the first half. It was just...
He could actually get the ball, yeah. I think I prefer him at 8 for SuperCoach, to be honest.
6 points for him. Would have been 8 if the game did end 0-0 after that late penalty. But, happy with a 6-pointer doing absolutely nothing for him. But yeah, Everton and West Ham. Everton and West Ham both suck. That is the wrap up, mate. Let's move into a little bit of fraud watch.
Leave the football before the football leaves you. The football's left them.
I had way too much fun with sound bites today. We're going to be having plenty of those.
That's that new fancy intro as well. It's 45 minutes later, but mate, I didn't even know you had that in the lockout.
Shout out to Brain and the Insight credit card for buying that one for us. Mate, fraud watch. We covered a couple. For me, Cole Palmer. He's the one that really just shit me. Enzo Maresca just doesn't want to play him wide, which is his best position. He's just sticking him at the 10. Enzo Fernandez is just absolutely killing him. I'm also a fraud. I'm putting myself on fraud watch for not sticking with Erling Haaland. I had him basically all of preseason and pivoted last minute to Bukayo Saka. I would have captained Haaland, so I could have finished on like 150. So annoying. Who's going on fraud watch for you, mate?
Shout out Miles Lewis Skelly, 21% owned. He was my guy in the preseason for a bit. Then obviously Calafiori got the start. Lewis Skelly came on with 19 minutes to go, picked up a yellow card and did sweet FA, scored -1 for the people that bought him. So shout out to him. And obviously, I don't know if it was any fault of his own, but Jeremy Frimpong as well, being the third most owned player and putting up a 3 in he was pretty ordinary. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's move into Supercoach Corner, where we're talking about everything that happened from a Supercoach standpoint last week.
Claude, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked.
Oh no, I got the wrong soundbite. Hang on.
It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
Last week's top scorer, 182. If you're wearing headphones or in the car, turn your volume down. But the coach was Chance. And the reason why I emphasize that is because Chance had a exclamation mark at the end of it. So Coach Daniela was a top scorer with 182. Their team had your boy Tyra captain after a Haaland VC. Mate, the lowest scorer in this team was Williams with a 3, who was on.
Could have been higher if had Rodon on field too.
But Williams is also on for like at least 11 after conceding the late penalty. Pedro Porro 13, Van Dijk 9, Williams 3, Saliba 16, Morgan Gibbs White 14, Odegaard 11, Reijnders 21, Sarr 15, Haaland 22, Kudos 21. Had Thiago on the bench, so could have played like a 3-4-3. Had Rodon on the bench with an 11 and looped in Robin Roofs with a 15-pointer. So well done to them. But we'll talk about the Insight League itself. There is not too long to get into this one. We have a Premier League jersey if you're choosing for first, an Insight unlimited Patreon membership for second. I think $50 for third. Some people might prefer third out of those prizes, but yeah, we'll put the league code in the description. I don't have it on me, otherwise I'd read it out. Deadly, if you want to go find it and read that for us, that would be great. But the leader of the competition right now is Matthew, coach of Matt Ibar, with a 172 and currently ranked 4th. We have 8 members in the top 100 after week 1. So very, very well done to those guys. Deadly, do we have the code?
League code 126724. I'll repeat, 126724.
Lockout will be done end of week 3 before the transfer window slam shut. So make sure you join that one. Trends and talking points, mate. We'll talk about everything coming up over the next sort of half an hour. Talk about the game weeks coming up. We'll talk about the most popular trade-ins, most popular trade-outs. We will talk about the captaincies as well and the moves that we're thinking of making heading into next week as well. But let's talk about the players that are most popular and people that everyone's buying.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
I've had way too much fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I've still got a couple to come. Mate, the most popular player, Ballard, 4.2 million, and it's daylight for second. He is by far and away the most purchased player this week. My initial thought is, what are we doing? But is there merit to buying him? His break-even was ridiculously low. I'll pull up the break-evens as we're sort of talking about these players, especially in terms of the top 10. But what are your initial thoughts on Ballard? Because he's a guy that I guarantee you, whatever podcast you listen to, whatever your favorite EPL SuperCoach podcast is, none of them we're talking about Ballard coming into week 1.
50 people own him. Well done to those 50 people. I want the lottery numbers. To be honest, mate, bringing him in this week, I don't see the point. Like, it's just another case of chasing points. Obviously, the big thing with him is he's 4.2 million. But once again, he plays for Sunderland. I don't care if they won 3-0. They're still Sunderland. They're still going to be shit. Let's be honest here. And he's not going to score a goal every week. He's not going to get 10 DEFCON points plus the clean sheet, whatever else he did in the awesome game. If he scores well against Burnley this week, I'm happy to bring him in at no change of price.
Yeah, right now he's got a -22 break even, which nets you exactly $0 next week. So It's a 3-round rolling average. So if you play AFL, same price rise. If you play NRL, same thing as well. But if you've never played a SuperCoach sport before, 1, welcome. 2, subscribe to this channel because we cover every SuperCoach sport. And 3, it takes 3 weeks for a price to kick in, and then it changes every week after that. So you've still got another week to look at Daniel Ballard with a -22 break even. But yeah, definitely a hard pass from me. Tajini Reijnders, 6.5 million, absolutely big tick of approval from myself. If you're going to be buying him this week, sure, great pickup. He's a stud. Should have started with him. Like one half of this podcast did. The other half was a non-believer.
I was look. Don't say that. I wasn't a non-believer. It was a pep roulette non-believer. But look, I think Tajani Reijnders, personally, if I was to make a trade this week, I'm not going to. Spoiler alert. He would be the guy. And pretty convincingly, but once again, pep roulette is creeping at the door, and with plenty of guys to come back this week for Man City. I think the big one for this is going to be Mateusz Kovacic when he eventually comes back. But at the same time, Reijnders is awesome. He probably does hold his spot. I would like to get the one more week out of him. Obviously, the no price rises. I'm a firm believer in not trading this week. I've preached it in the WhatsApp for a good majority of this week. Unless there's an injury or you picked a dud, someone who didn't play, I would not trade this week. And there is 0 injuries this week unless you had like Kai Havertz or something, which I don't know why.
Talk to me on your boy, Richarlison.
The pigeon.
4.5 million. I think I threw my back out doing that. 4.5 million for Richarlison. He's the 3rd most traded in player this week. His break even is -15. I'm less keen. I get it. He scored 2 goals, looked great. It's just a no from me, dog.
Yeah, I'd rather take Ballard over Richarlison, to be honest, and pretty convincingly. Richarlison's cool. He scored 2 goals against Burnley. Came off. Probably has the number 9 spot. He has Man City this week. I don't think he scores. It's going to be tough.
He has the number 9 spot, but for how long? Like, because Solanke's not rotten on the pine. I give it like a week or 2 before Solanke's back starting. So,
from what we know Richarlison could do, he is cheap, fair enough. But at the same time, Solanke's there knocking down his door, and there's every chance he just gets dropped back to the bench, comes on, plays 20 minutes, and scores 1s every week.
Yeah, no, I'd rather Thiago, who is cheaper, that will probably score you the same amount of 1s, but at least has the role locked in. Oscar Bob, 3.7 million. No.
I don't get this at all. Cool.
I mean, he was supposed to be like the guy last year, just got injured. But Pep played this weird, like, inverted fullback system and, like, basically packed the midfield to cover the fact they didn't have a recognized number 6. So I wouldn't be shocked if, like, yeah, I mean, Mamouche is just going to come back into the side eventually. So it's a no from me. But Papa Sarr, 4.8 million. I think wheels up from both of us. Big tick of approval for Papa Sarr.
I wouldn't bring Papa Sarr in just yet. Obviously, wait till next week is where I'm going to preach. But if you started with him, 100% hold him. 100%.
I think also 100% playing this week.
Yeah. Even though it is City, 100%. He's got DEFCON in him. The assist helped, but at the same time, he's going to put up at least a consistent one. If he jags an assist or a goal, you're absolutely laughing. Yeah,
I'd be shocked if he gets like less than 5 points this week, and you'll take that from a guy priced at 4.5 and up against Man City. Hugo Ekitike at 6.5. I'm so on board with this. I'm so keen. Now the fact that I just don't think Alexander Isak signed. I made a very late pivot and started with Hugo Ekitike just because I got the feeling that they wouldn't sign Isak, and I think that's definitely true now.
Yeah, I think they will.
6.5 million for a guy who looks great.
Yeah. 100%. Just I want a piece of that Liverpool attack. I started with Ekatike at basically the 11th hour. I'm absolutely thrilled that I did. Yeah, I do think he's not going to be a guy that I'm going to hold for the season, and there is still some rotation risk there. But at the same time, give him a week. If you don't have him, give him a week. He looked awesome, and yeah, you can pick him up for the Arsenal match, I suppose.
I'm assuming we are having the same opinion as we had with Oscar Bob for Rico Lewis, 4.4 million. Look, it's between him and like Mateus Nunes. Like, I just don't know who's playing at the right back spot there. If you tell me Rico Lewis was like the first choice, absolutely. I just can't tell you that.
I'd
rather
Dorgu.
Nope. Dorgu's the same price.
Yeah, I think I would too. He looked, obviously Rico Lewis got the assist, but I still think Dorgu looked better.
A lot of these guys in this list, like, you don't need to be bringing in this week. Like, there's a lot of trade activity happening that I don't think should be.
So many weights. They're just basically all the top 10 traded in are just chasing last week's points. Besides like Oscar Bob, who's cheap, started. But still.
I would also say the next man's chasing last week's points. As Erling Haaland has played his easiest matchup out of the first 5 last week. I'm looking at targeting him in like game week 6-ish. I'll try and move some funds around a game in game week 6, but it won't be a game week 2 thing for me against Tottenham. I'm just waiting.
If you didn't start with Erling Haaland like the both of us, we knew that.
Are you shocked that he scored 2 goals against the Wolves?
That was the big matchup. The one I'm looking. Now I see Tottenham. It's going to be a tough match, even though they're going to play a 5-back. Brighton, pretty good defensively on the weekend. Besides the pen, pretty much. Yeah, well, the late goal. Man United, they looked awesome. Arsenal defensively, that we know how good they are. Once he hits Burnley game week 6, Erling, come in.
Yeah,
welcome in. You kind of not started him expecting that he wasn't going to at least contribute something in that game.
Yeah, no, agreed. Your favorite Arsenal player, Ricardo Calafiori, 5.6 million.
This is chasing last week's points to a T, isn't it? I mean, he scored a goal from a backstick header that Badinha didn't fist away. It's not like he scored a good goal or even contributed anything. Besides the goal, he did nothing. Cool.
Yeah, no, agreed. A defender goal's worth 10. He scored 15.
He scored like 21, but the clean sheet helped.
So goal and clean sheet was 12 points. So he ends up on like 9. So still not bad, but like
no. Goal and the clean sheet's 16. No, 12 for a goal from a defender, and then 6 for a clean sheet.
I'm thinking
so he got 18 points from a goal and a clean sheet, and scored 21.
Yeah, no, it's a no for me. And Robin Roofs, he's probably an interesting one. I can't think of a world where you're buying him. Like, I think he's a good buy because like he's bottom dollar, he's starting. But I can't think of a world where I don't understand what keeper you'd be trading out.
What keeper would you be trading at? Like people that started with Emi Martinez, maybe. But at that stage, surely, if you started with Emi Martinez, who's like 8% owned, just hold him now.
Oh no, it's chasing last week's points. But I'm just trying to work out like what move people are doing.
I'm saying it's just that's probably where most of the trade-ins are coming for Roos is probably the Emi Martinez that factor. But if you started with Emi Martinez, just keep him now. If you've already given up the first week, you may as well just hold him now that he's cheap. But yeah, once again, it's just chasing last week's points. And I'll be honest, I do not see Sunderland keeping a clean sheet against Burnley. They looked pretty good in attack against Spurs, to be honest.
FTV Claude, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked.
It's time to go!
Rest in peace to AFTV's Claude. It's time to go. Who are we getting rid of? Destiny or Doggy? Pretty easy one there.
Valid.
People that started with him obviously are not talking tactics listeners. They would have known he is injured for the foreseeable future, so he is gone. Kobe Mainu. I assume people that started with Kobe Mainu were not listeners to the Talking Tactics podcast. If they did, they would have known he wasn't starting. Number 3, Rodri. No.
I mean, to be fair,
this is people that don't know that he was out.
To be fair, we definitely. I wouldn't say we got the information wrong with Rodri, because he still didn't play, but it looks like he's going to play before game week 4 now. But at the same time, if you started with him, hold.
Yeah, no, agree.
But the other two, Udogi and Mainu, if you started with them, 100% trade out, no doubt in my mind.
Yep. No, I agree. Jeremy Frimpong, 6.5 million. This is the talking point. This is the debate. I might leave this one because we have a question from the audience members. I need to get a sound. I don't have a soundbite for questions, so we got listener questions
Wait.
coming. So we'll talk about him soon. Kyle Walker, the floor's yours.
Why? I mean, I said it all preseason. You're paying 4.2 million for a Burnley centre back who's 35 years of age. I mean, enjoy. If you're trading him out, enjoy the waste of a trade. I mean, don't say I didn't warn you. If you started with him, why?
Tell it how it is. Yeah, no, I agree. Phil Foden, 7.2. Yep, he has to go. He's not fit. Didn't start.
I think he'll play this week, but once again, Pep roulette. I don't want to touch that. So
I agree. Florian Wirtz, 8 million. Goodness me, how 90 minutes of football changes people's perception.
That's it. I don't get this trade out. He scored 4 points. I'd say he didn't even look that bad. Obviously, we've come to expect Wirtz. If you've watched the Bundesliga or have heard anything about Florian Wirtz, you know that he's a fantastic footballer, probably the best 10 in the world. But Liverpool scored 4 goals and he couldn't really get amongst it. But at the same time, it's not like he was bad. He was good offensively, and I think just it looks like Fernando Chiesa is probably on his way out. I think he's still locked into that 10 role. If you started with him, give him one more week. It's not going to change his price. He's got a Newcastle matchup who, I'll be honest, are pretty good defensively, but at the same time, they could easily be broken apart by Liverpool. Just hold him. We won't lose money.
I agree. Miles Lewis-Skelly, 3.9 million. Your boy. He's all yours. What are you thinking? You started with Miles Lewis-Skelly.
This one's actually a tough one, to be honest, because I think Calafiori probably keeps his spot. Look, not like Calafiori was good. Like the back stick goal was, whatever, nice header into a wide open net. But besides that, he did nothing. And but Lewis-Skelly came on and looked pretty dreadful, to be honest. So once again, I'll say give him one more week because he's not going to lose money or do anything to you. And if he starts, cool, you get Lewis-Skelly for the week. But at the same time, definitely one that could be traded out next week quite convincingly. But a Leeds matchup, if he starts, I wouldn't be against even starting him, to be honest.
Yeah, no, agreed. And last one. Oh, no, there's one more. Rasmus Højlund, 3.9. He sucks. Get rid of him. Last one.
Yeah, get rid of him.
João Pedro, 8.4 million. Shock horror. A man who had
non-talking tactics listeners.
A man who had about 7 shots in the preseason and scored 5 goals at an unbelievable, unsustainable rate. Didn't score a goal. I'm holding.
I still don't get why people started with him. Like, I think this is more he was cheap in FPL. I could understand why people would start him in FPL. But in EPL SuperCoach, he's the same price as some of these top-tier guys. And
no, I think people just looked at, he scored this many goals last year for Brighton. He's now in a better team. But they forget
lost
that he
his pens,
pens, yeah.
Lost his pens, has a rotation with Liam Delap now, which was in the watch list because they're just going to kill each other. They're going to kill each other off. And it's sad to see because they're both fantastic footballers. But, João Pedro could score 2 goals in 60 minutes and be like, cool, but he's going to come off at that 60 minutes for Liam Delap to come on and probably score 2 goals in his 30 minutes. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
So I would personally, hold if you started with him because the draw's too good to pass up.
Yeah. Doesn't lose money. Hold him. He's got West Ham this week. West Ham suck.
They suck. I wouldn't have started with him. Mate, let's talk about captaincy chat.
This was the no-brainer. This was the banker. This was the one that couldn't fail. This was one that's never failed.
Oh, I love it. We got our top 3, I believe, captaincy options, and then we're going to go talk about our top 3 vice captaincy options. At number 1, this is a consensus. It's by Bukayo Saka, 1.3% captained at home against Leeds. I am all aboard the Bukayo Saka captaincy train.
He did sweet FA, to be honest, in that Man U game. Still came away with 7 points. I think against Leeds, as long as he does something, he's gonna score well. Look, I think quite convincingly, Leeds at home is just a good matchup to have. Obviously, Everton didn't look good, but that's Everton. Leeds looks good against Everton, but That's Everton. Arsenal are going to wipe the floor with Leeds, you expect, and you'd probably expect their main star boy to be a part of it. I
Yep.
think,
No.
Saka's has my captain, and I think it's for good reason.
I agree. Number 2, Oliver Watkins, 0.6% captained away at Brentford. Might we remind you, Brentford suck. Chris Wood scored 2.
7 goals, 6 goals in 7 games for Ollie Watkins against Brentford, against his old club. So, if you have Ollie Watkins, I definitely won't shy away from a C there.
Yep, no, agreed. And number 3, if you're paying 15 million for him, it's got to be Mohamed Salah. I will say this does reek of a very bad game. This reeks of like a very St. James's Park mauling.
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, it also reeks of they're going to come into St. James's Park and put up 6 goals. So
it's either way. It's either going to be a 0-0 or a 0-6. Yeah, Salah quite low down on the totem pole for me. But vice captaincy, a bit of a safety net. I can't believe we're doing it again. But we're going to go Cole Palmer, 24.6% away to West Ham. We suck. Yeah, not good.
He's got West Ham.
We are not a good football team.
He's got West Ham. It's simple as that. He's got West Ham. It's if he can't do anything against West Ham, then that's when we look to sell him, because that's a big worry. But
yeah,
at the same time, surely Cole Palmer can't be invisible for 2 weeks in a row, right?
Maybe he was invisible for half a season at the back end of last year. So let's see. Obviously, Erling Braut Haaland, 15% vice captained. He's more captain than he's vice captain, which is crazy considering he plays like the second game of the week. 15% vice captain versus Tottenham at home. And the last one, mate, Antoine Semenyo, 0.3% vice captained against Wolves at home.
This is cheeky. This is very, very cheeky. I think Bournemouth absolutely wiped the floor with Wolves. I've got zero faith in Wolves nowadays. Yep. And but Bournemouth, they looked good against Liverpool. Semenyo looked awesome. If you want a pod, and it lands in the vice captain safety net, which I find pretty funny that we're going Semenyo as the most rogue shout ever, but I back it. If you want to go very pod and you have Antoine Semenyo, go for your life, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're going to move into something I'm going to try out, and I want to know people's thoughts. I need to know if they like it or not, but we're going to do some clean sheet odds and defender talk.
I want a reaction. You
want to see a reaction?
We need a reaction.
You need a reaction.
You like to see a reaction.
That's how I went for 2 minutes. I had to cut it short. What are the teams to be backing this week? So I went and had a look. Betting is evil. Don't bet. If you do it responsibly. But I had a look. Bookies are generally pretty good with this sort of stuff over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I had a look at the clean sheet odds and compared and converted them to implied odds, basically. If something is $2, it's a 50-50 chance. If something is $1.01, it's like a 99.9% chance. So I converted the best odds this week, and the 2 that were best were Arsenal, 48% clean sheet prediction against Leeds at home. No surprise there. They're the best defense this week. And Man City, 38% clean sheet versus Spurs at home, which I find is quite interesting. I thought Spurs may have been more in this one. So look, they're the 2 to have. There's a couple of others. Chelsea, Bournemouth, they're all sort of thereabouts for like 36%, but they're the top 2. But I want to talk about cheap defenders worth starting, because there are some pretty tasty ones. So according to the bookies, Burnley have a 36% clean sheet percentage versus Sunderland. So that brings in the likes of Kyle Walker, Maxima Steve, and Quindelly Hartman. I'm playing all of those guys. If I have Kyle Walker, I'm not selling him this week. I think I play him for this week and then look to move him on next week.
Sadly.
But a game against Sunderland at home, I'm starting all my Burnley guys.
I am starting Quindelly Hartman this week, and with 100% conviction that I will happily take all the stick when Burnley concede 3 on a 0.5 XG at Turf Moor. But
100%.
But there is just no way that Burnley don't do okay in this game. Otherwise, there's a good chance they could break the Derby record, where if they shit it up in this.
Well, we can't call it the Derby after 1 week is crazy.
But come on, it's Sunderland at home. Sunderland at home. Can you really get any easier? In the face of things, in the grand scheme of everything, can you really get easier than Sunderland at home?
It is the matchup to target, I guess, but wow, that's a big call. And the other one, mate, Bournemouth surprisingly have a 36% clean sheet chance. So you look at Man City having a 38% chance. They're the best team apparently. Bournemouth at 36% against Wolves at home. That brings in Adrian Truffett and Dorde Petrovic. I'm happily starting both those guys.
Yep, 100%. If you have Truffett, another one I'd start. I think people will be shied away by their first round scores, but Truffett had Liverpool, Hartman had Tottenham, tough matchups. They've got the easy matchups now. You may as well make use of them, and if they get a return, you're laughing.
Yep. Agreed. Cool. Let's talk about, this is something that I put in, so I'm throwing on the spot here. But I want to talk about some, do I have the soundbite? No, I don't have it. God damn it.
Can you do the, just do it for us?
Do I have it here? No, I don't. Okay. I'll
give us
input a soundbite. I am Jose Mourinho. So it's differentials, players with minus 5% ownership that we think have some serious upside. So I don't have the percentages, but trust me, they're all under 5%. Igor Thiago, 3.75 million deadly. Obviously, we're both very, very keen.
How is it's crazy. Yeah. If you're looking for, I think it's going to be a pretty well slam dunk pick that if you have either a forward that gets injured next week, or a cheap forward who doesn't play, or a forward that sucks, and you're looking for money elsewhere, there's going to be a lot of people jumping on Igor Thiago as the downgrade option to free up some cash for sure.
Can't wait for everyone that bought Richarlison this week to see him blank against City, and then see Igor Thiago score again, and they sell him.
Talk to me.
Ethan Ampadu, 3.5 million. Meat and potatoes. Boring as hell, but bottom dollar will play.
He's so good. Just quietly. He
Welsh Pele.
Mate, he was the one that was scaring me the most in that Leeds Everton game. He looked phenomenal. But yeah, obviously
he's had a career. He's been everywhere. He was Chelsea wonder
where Chelsea, wasn't it?
He was a Chelsea wonder because he was like this 18-year-old white Welsh kid with like these fat thick dreads.
It was
vibes. It was vibes. Anton Starch, 4.5%. Shout out to your mate Scobie. Big fan of Starch, but he looks really good for Leeds as well.
Yeah, no, he was really, really good. Plenty of attacking upside with Starch, especially in that game. He's one I'd sort of wait and see. Obviously, got Arsenal this week. But yeah, if you started with him, like Scobie did, so congrats to Nath. Well done. But yeah, this is a week I'd definitely hold off and just wait. But 100% there's upside there. Looked really, really good. Took every corner besides one, I believe, as well.
Yeah, unreal. Anton Semenyo, 9 million. I think that's a great little pod play. The Bournemouth draw opens up extremely well. This is not just like a reaction to last week. Bournemouth have a very, very good draw. You got the tough fixture out of the way. If you started with him, then you got maximum points out of the tough fixture, which is very good.
Yeah, 100%. I'm slightly less on board with Semenyo than a few of these other guys. Obviously, just the 9 million price tags, just big.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's got all the talent in the world, and there's big clubs that are going to start looking for him very, very soon. But yeah, if you do want to go pod really early on, he's a guy that definitely you could go there.
He was at a championship club. I can't remember who it was. He was just kicking around the championship before he went to Bournemouth. It's going to really bother me now. I'll have to look into it. And the last one, Matt O'Reilly. Hey?
I'll find it. Hang on.
Awesome. Yeah, he was definitely in a championship club. Last one, Matt O'Reilly, 6.1 million on pens for Brighton under that Hertzler system. I like it. If he can stay fit and he stays at the club, I think 6.1 million. We spoke about him earlier. Hey?
Bristol City. That's who it was.
Bristol City. Shout out Bristol City. I knew it was one of those mediocre champ teams. Yeah. Matt O'Reilly, if he stays fit and he stays at Brighton at 6.1 million on pens, I think he could be a great pick. Yeah,
I'm on board with O'Reilly. Just want to make sure. I would love to know if he's just going to be locked onto the pens and isn't really a rotation risk. I do worry that, some of these guys that only played a few minutes might take his spot. They've got a couple guys that are sort of playing as their makeshift like defenders right now as well that need to come back into the midfield. They got like guys like Solly March to come back, Buenanote, these sorts of guys. So we'll wait and see with O'Reilly, but for now he looks a good option until something changes.
Mate, let's talk about our moves and our strategy about what we're doing for next week?
The game's gone, innit? The game's gone.
The game's gone.
The game's gone.
Game's gone. Game's gone.
Yes, Ange, the game has gone. Let's talk about our locked in versus our tentative transfers. I've really got no reservations. I mean, I can't really think of anyone that I want to have or anyone that I want to get rid of. I'm very patient, and I keep telling everyone, football is a very volatile game. Do not base your judgments off 90 minutes, please.
I might be the most impatient person ever, but when it comes to this sort of setup for EPL, with the amount of trades we have, there is no way I'm looking to trade any one of my guys who all have roles. Every single one of them are in the spots that I expected them to play and looked good, except
someone scored.
Actually, not all of them.
Someone scored 90 points, right? Which is like fine. Like 90 points is fine. It's like it's not great. It's not terrible. But they had like Palmer, Bowen, Bruno, Saka, and they're like, "Do I boost?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
for what?" He's like, "Oh, I was looking at Ballard, and I was like, no."
No, just be patient. Please be patient. I swear, if you listen to other podcasts and they say different, whatever.
Stop listening to them.
We here at Talking Tactics are going to preach that trades are going to be so massive, and when it gets to game week 30 and you've got 7 trades left and everyone else is out, that's when you're gonna thrive. So
yeah, and also point of the season,
I haven't even thought about trading this week. Obviously, actually, that's a lie. I've looked at getting into Reijnders, but at the same time, I haven't actually committed to it.
That's the only person I would consider. Like, there's no one, and maybe like not even Papasao. Like, you play City this week. Like, just wait. I'd only consider Reijnders. No, in all seriousness, like, do whatever you want to do. Of course, it's your team, but the first 20 weeks of the season are fucking boring. Like, that, it's a single game week. It's boring, right? It's going to get really exciting. Game week 25 onwards, when we start to have midweek games, we start to have doubles, start to have blanks, start to see people putting up like 30-point weeks. So that's when you want to have your trades. That's when you want to have your boosts. So definitely keep them up your sleeve. Captaincy and vice captaincy for old Charlie XCX, which is me. I'm just gonna roll the safe Palmer into Saka. Palmer against West Ham, first game of the week, 5:00 Saturday. That will start to be coming 9:30, by the way, as of next week. So you do get to watch some ball next week from 9:30. And then I'm going to go straight into Bukayo Saka at the Emirates Sunday morning against Leeds. Look, I understand playing at Leeds against Everton, they looked great defensively. With all due respect to Moise, playing Arsenal at the Emirates is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they had 15 shots or whatever it was, something ridiculous in the first half. None of them really had a chance of going in, except maybe the Joel Piro through ball that sort of Pickford came and stopped. Raya's going to make a mockery of it if they take those shots again, and if they try and do that triangle build up that they did against us, they're going to get absolutely killed by Ben White, pretty much.
Yeah,
who is definitely better than Jake O'Brien at right back. We can say that. At a press, yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's Palmer and Saka. What are you looking at, my friend?
I'm also probably the same, Palmer and Saka, but I'm struggling to not sway myself into going like a Cucurella into Saka. I'm so tempted to just run Cucurella because after
it's a return, it's like 22, 23 points.
After a pretty poor captaincy showing from my captain and vice captain last week, I'm almost tempted to just lock in a safe one and hope that Cucurella can at least, if he gets a clean sheet, it's probably 14 points, and then you take that easy. If he gets a contribution, it's, as you said, 22, 23 points, and that's a slam dunk. So I'm tempted by Cucurella, but right now it's sitting on Palmer and Saka.
Do you have any benching dilemmas? Because I definitely do. I am looking at our boy Igor Thiago playing at home against Villa, or Keenan Dewsbury Hall playing at home against Brighton. That's what I'm looking at. Are you looking at the same thing?
Yep.
Nice. Great
so 100%. My defense, I'm starting Hartman, starting Dorgu, starting Kuiper. I'm benching Diouf. That's locked in. obviously excluding all my primos. I'm going to bench Josh King against Man United. He looked good, but 100% he's getting benched. So it really just rests between Dewsbury Hall and Thiago. And right now I'm leaning Thiago simply due to the fact that Villa's defense looked pretty ordinary. Really got saved by what's his name again, Bizzo. And with the constant red card, it's definitely going to be a chance for the Villa defense to be opened up even more. Thiago's a proven striker, none of this Anthony Gordon at striker BS. So
just utter woke nonsense.
Yeah, so there is a bit of chance of a contribution for Thiago, I reckon, compared to Dewsbury Hall, who at the new stadium against Brighton, who knows? Could be. It screams a 0-0 draw. Absolutely hoons of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm definitely tossing up. I don't know if I've got Keenan Dewsbury Hall, but not sold. What I will say is if you're similar to me and you've got a Tyra Sanchez set up at goalkeeper, start Tyra. Sanchez plays first game of the week. It will absolutely ruin your loop. You will not get a chance to loop. So start Sanchez off the bench. He'll come in. So that's just what I'm telling you to do. Mate, I think we've got some listener questions. We've got a couple to sift through. I've probably got like 3 or 4. I put a call out on the WhatsApp. Join that. I've got to put a call out on Twitter as well to get a couple. First one. I've got no names, so I can't give you a shout out because this is all anonymous. Are midfielders more matchup proof given they don't rely on clean sheets? Using Sarr this week as an example, is he a play or a bench? On form, you'd think play, but it's City. I'm looking at like Keenan Dewsbury Hall, right? Did nothing last week. Didn't get a clean sheet. Got 6 points. I'm taking that over a Thiago that will just sit in the box and do nothing, or a defender up with a tough matchup. I'm happily taking a midfield. I think they are quite matchup proof in terms of I think their floor is quite high.
They 100% are. 100% they are. Jared Bowen couldn't do anything, really. He did his best against Sunderland. Scored 5 points just from whatever he could do. The thing is if an attacker, unless they score, they're not getting many of the base stats, is what we'll call it. And then defenders, if they concede a whole bunch of goals, they're going to lose points based on the goals conceded, which doesn't exist for midfielders. They could concede 10 and they won't lose points for it. So I think, 100%. If you want to play Sarr this week, especially, he is pretty safe. He should have a pretty safe floor. And if Chelsea just, if Man City just keep going at Tottenham, there's a good chance that, he gets a bunch of tackle points, bunch of interception points just for being there.
Agreed. I'm considering going early on Ballard, Truffett, Hartman, or Diouf out. What is the best to accommodate the Ballard trade, or am I better off saving the trade? Save the trade.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on save the trade. Obviously, Ballard's. It's hard to knock getting a guy who just scored 34.2 million in, but he won't do it again. I think I can pretty convincingly say Daniel Ballard will not score 30 plus this season again. But at the same time, you're going to trade him in, as we said before, negative 22 break even. You're going to trade him in for 0 price change next week, 0 money made. So just wait the week.
I also think cash grabs are just less viable in EPL than they are in like AFL/NRL because we have so little trades compared to the number of weeks we have to play. I think people need to understand you've committed to 38 weeks for 44 trades, and you're going to be wanting to load up on doubles at the back end of the season. So I'm not keen.
Yeah, I
Lewis.
keep going. I sort of preached it to people in the WhatsApp this week that unless you have a guy who's not going to play, but good majority of the week is injured, and if they don't affect, I'd sell them. But if they don't affect your starting lineup, like you're going to play the same guys, and they can just sit on your bench like a Mainu, for example, didn't play last week, potentially plays this week, probably doesn't. But at the same time, just hold him for the week if it doesn't change your team. If you bring in a guy instead of Mainu who you're not going to start anyway, what's the point? Just wait the week, hold the trade. Someone could get injured. Who knows?
Agreed. We'll do one more. Are Lewis and Calafiori good entry points into the City and Arsenal defense, or at least a stepping stone for the next month or so? No.
Yeah, there's just huge question marks on both. Pretty simply, Calafiori's still not locked in. I think that's like you're not going to get much better than that 21 points. He's not going to score a goal and keep a clean sheet every week, obviously. And Rico Lewis, Mateus Nunes is still breathing down his neck. They're going to rotate all season. I wouldn't touch either of them, to be honest.
Yep. No, agreed. All right. What is left? The wrap up. What do we have a hot take? Do you have a hot take prepared?
Look, I don't know if it's a hot take or if it's more of a hopeful take, but I can see. I think Cole Palmer just has a huge week, which I don't know if it's really a hot take, but against West Ham. But at the same time, I think he seems on for a 25-pointer plus.
Yeah, no, I'm like same as Saka. My hot take: Daniel Ballard, 5 points or less.
Ooh, and you know what? I agree.
A deadline reminder for this week. So 5:00 Saturday morning. Be there, be square. Next week it is 9:30 p.m. in the PM. So
yes,
yeah, moving forward to be late Saturday, which is great for us. We get to watch some ball.
If I am awake at about 3:30 in the morning, I probably won't be actually. You can get the team lists for the Chelsea West Ham game, but that's 3:30 in the morning. I might be awake. I doubt it.
Otherwise, just set your alarm for 4:55. That's the beauty. Like you can just wait until the late minute. So, Otherwise, join the WhatsApp. Wrapping up, we have the WhatsApp. We've spoken about it plenty of times, and just want to thank you all once again.
Why are you in it? Just join it. Simply.
Yeah, exactly. It's
why
free.
are you not in the WhatsApp?
And we're readily available until it gets too big, and we probably won't be. But for now, while it's still nice and small, I think there's like less than 300 people in there, so it's nice and chill. We answer most questions that we get tagged in. So yeah, jump in. I won't put it in the description because I don't want it to get infested with some of those bots. But yeah, just message either one of us on Twitter or Instagram. You know where to find me, Deadly. Messages. But yeah, once again, thank you for listening. We have very much enjoyed doing this hour and a half podcast, which is going to be sort of the rough length of time. These will come out every Friday morning. We record them on a Thursday night. I'm going to go watch some football. I think you've missed half a game of AFL, so I'll let you attend to watching that.
I'm going to go watch the Rabbits instead. I don't want to. I don't want to watch Essendon. I don't want to watch Essendon.
Love that. You've been listening to Talking Tactics, your EPL SuperCoach podcast. I have been the SE Whisperer, joined by SE Deadly. Thank you. Good luck. We will see you next week.